Hey guys, what's up? Ruben here from the Midnight Garage. This is actually my sister's Nissan Figaro. You've probably seen it before in the videos. My sister is actually going to travel to Australia for a couple of years, so this car will be put away in storage. And I figured, you know, since we don't see this car here on this YouTube channel for at least the near future, I figured it would be nice to spend one final day with the Nissan Figaro. But you know, first up, I don't think that this outfit is good enough for driving around in a Nissan Figaro, so you know, let's change that. Better. Now, first up, I'm going to wash the car since it's quite dirty, and then I'm going for brunch because, well, that was the most Figaro thing I could think of to do right now. I'm probably gonna say a whole lot about Nissan Figaros during this video, but even before we start, I just want to make clear that I think Nissan Figaros are the coolest Nissans ever produced. Even cooler than the Datsun 240Z and even cooler than a Nissan GTR, which should show up in your screen right about now. The GTR might be faster, but it sure as hell doesn't have the cool factor that the Figaro has. Well, so far so good. I just arrived at the place where I wanted to wash the car and it's broken. Yay! So now I have to find another place.
I don't wanna be in love, I don't wanna be in love,
Well, that was disappointing. There wasn't that much pressure in the system here, so it didn't really clean it that well, and I don't really feel like the car is any cleaner than it was before. But it's better than nothing. So time for brunch. Surprise! This didn't go as expected as well. Yay! The place where I wanted to go for brunch, they apparently had some movie stars there, so I wasn't allowed to bring my camera, and it was really a shame because it was a really nice location where you could sit outside and basically I could make some really cool shots of the Figaro. But that's okay. Yeah, I'm now here in the middle of nowhere. Figaro's behind me, and I'm going to have a roadside picnic, I guess. This is a very nice swamp-like thing here. I brought some water with me, brought some strawberries, and I'm just going to relax. Right, I just finished all my strawberries. I've parked the car in the tall grass because I thought that looked kind of funny. And I just wanted to talk about the things I like about the car because, you know, the car just has such a presence. Everywhere you go, people look at the car. Everywhere you park it, people just come up and take pictures of it. People just want to talk about the car. They think it's like an early 70s British car or a French car or even an Italian car, but almost no one knows that it's an early 90s Japanese car, and some of them are even kind of disappointed if you tell them that that's the case. But to me it just goes to show how much the Japanese went out and about to give this car so much attention to detail. You know what? Let me just give you a few examples. Even when we look in the interior of the car, there's like so much detail going on. Like if you look at the radio, this is definitely not some sort of one-din radio that they could have easily put in. And for example, if you look at these switches, they all have this shell theme that if you continue looking around in the car, you can find everywhere. Like here and there, for example. There's so many shell-like themes that are going on in this car, and even if you look at the stalks for the lights, they've been custom made for this car. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I can probably sit here for a few more hours just relaxing, but I've promised my sister that I would do a couple of things to this car before it goes into storage, so reluctantly I'll say let's just go back to the garage and get some work done. First up, a new dashboard. Here's the old one, here's the new one, which as you can see still has a crack in it but looks better than the one before. Here we have the complete dashboard as I removed it, and then here we have a couple of the parts that I had laying around that I had to remove in order to get the dashboard out. Now, one thing I'm really fearing is that it's incredibly hard to put the dashboard back. I think it's a two-person job, but I have to do it by myself, because all these lines that are behind here, they all go in one way, and it's a mess. But yeah, only one way to find out. Nice dashless Figaro though. Well, that was actually fairly decent. It wasn't as hard as I expected. Now I just have to bolt the final parts back and I'm good to go. We just moved outside again because they were starting to play hard bass or something outside my shop, and it was getting kind of hard to film. But that's okay, because it's nice weather outside. I've already replaced the eyelids. I've actually filmed a whole how-to video about it, but I think the video is long enough as is. Now, I do know that these videos sometimes get shared in the Figaro community, so if you guys do want a how-to video about it, then just let me know, because I still have all the images. And I can make that, maybe not for the channel, but I can make it for you guys. And yeah, the last thing that I need to do is get rid of the stuck door handles, because they occasionally get stuck, and that's quite annoying. Nothing too big, these door handle thingies seem to get stuck sometimes, so I'm just going to spray some WD-40 in it, and that should hopefully do the trick. And I'm also going to spray a little bit in this hole right here. Now, since I'm doing all this maintenance to this car, I do want to talk a little bit about the bad points, because there are quite a few, even though I really like this car. First up, this car really doesn't like to take any corners, it just doesn't, and it's kind of good that it can't, because if you go really fast and you need to brake, for example for an emergency, then you will probably find out that you can't, and that kind of sucks as well. And also this car got this really nice little turbo engine that the Nissan March Turbo had as well, but it's made it to a 3-speed gearbox, which both makes the car real sluggish and slow, and it also doesn't really give it that good a fuel economy, which kind of sucks as well. And finally, the car just isn't up to standards of what I'm used to with Japanese cars based on reliability. My sister, for example, had to rebuild her engine twice, which kind of sucked for her, because that kind of eat into her budget of restoring this car, and therefore she wasn't able to paint this car thus far, because I don't know if you've seen it so far in the videos, but this car has some serious rust issues. They all seem to have a lot of rust issues, except when they're garage. And of course there are a lot of garage Figaros, because a lot of Figaro owners take really great care of this car, but if you don't, then they end up having a whole lot of rust. So it's actually highly likely that if you own a Figaro, you're going to spend a whole lot of time online looking for parts for the car, probably more than you want to. But that might not be that bad, because the online Nissan Figaro community is one of the nicest I've ever seen. People are just so nice to each other, they treat each other with so much respect, and they're always ready to help each other out. And honestly, I've seen a lot of car communities, but I've never seen such a nice car community as the Nissan Figaro owners. So hey, Figaro owners, you guys should be proud of yourself. So guys, in conclusion, I had a lot of things planned for this day that didn't go exactly as planned, and that didn't really matter to me, because I still had a great day. And in some way that just relates back to the Nissan Figaro. Now you might think that I had planned this all along, but I really didn't. But if you look at owning a Figaro, you think it's all fun, but in reality you're gonna have some problems here and there. But that doesn't matter, because even though you're gonna have some problems, you're still going to have a great time owning a Figaro. At least that's what I think. So yeah guys, that's it for today. I'm going to bring the Figaro back to my sister. My sister's going to bring it to storage. And that's the last you guys will ever see in the next few years of this Figaro, which is kinda sad. Here you have your key back.